Hello again. So now we are going to cover ways to take the if then conditional statements and sort of alter them and get these different related kinds of conditionals that we can use, and we'll see how to determine the truth values of them and all that. So just as a reminder, the if then statement, if we go back, conditional statements are statements that can be written in if then form, and symbolically we write, if there's two component statements, P and Q, it's P with an arrow and then a Q. So that's the simplest form. So from there we can take the inverse of a conditional statement. So this is formed when we negate the hypothesis and its conclusion. Well, I should say negating. That would be the better phrase. Formed by negating the hypothesis and its conclusion. Negating from the operation of negation that we learned about in the previous videos. So symbolically, the negation symbol, we remember is the squiggly. So the inverse is when we take not P, and then that would imply not Q. So we are literally just applying the negation to both of those component P and Q parts of the conditional. Then we can take the converse of a conditional statement. So this is formed by switching the hypothesis and its conclusion. And if we remember, it's P, if P then Q, or P was the hypothesis, Q is the conclusion. Now we're going to switch it so that it's if Q, then P. And then finally, we have the contrapositive, which is basically a combination of the inverse and the converse together. So the contrapositive is formed by negating and switching the hypothesis and the conclusion. So we're going to negate P and Q and then swap the positions. So we get not Q implies not P. Alright, with these basic definitions, let's go over an example and see how it goes. So in this example, we are going to take a conditional statement and write out the inverse, the converse, and the contrapositive, and determine its truth value. So the statement in this one is, if it is Saturday, then there is no school. So we want to identify the part P and the part Q. The P being the hypothesis, which is it is Saturday. That's going to be our P. Then follows our conclusion Q. And using this, we can just follow the symbolic notation of all of them. So let's look at the inverse, right? That is symbolically not P implies not Q. So if we have P and Q, the inverse is the negated version. So if we negate the statement P, we would say something like, if it is not Saturday. This is our new hypothesis. If it is not Saturday, then we negate the conclusion Q, then there is school. So we would get rid of the no school part. Then there is school. So let's look at the truth value. Is this true? If it is not Saturday, then there is school. Well, not necessarily the fact. It could be a holiday that takes place during the weekday, or it could be Sunday. So it's not true that if it is not Saturday, then there is school. So the truth value is false. And our counter example would just be that, it could be Sunday. Sunday would also mean that there is no school. All right, with that done, let's do the converse, where we switch the position of the hypothesis and conclusion. So it symbolically, you can recall it's if Q, then P. So we're going to start with the conclusion Q. If there is no school, then we'll use the statement P. It is Saturday. It is Saturday. Okay. And is the truth value true or false? Well, it's kind of similar to the inverse. If there is no school, then it is Saturday. Not necessarily true. So we're going to say it's false. Because, again, it could have been Sunday. And if it was Sunday, there would be no school. And now the contrapositive, where we negate both P and Q and then switch to positions. So it's going to go like this. If we're going to negate Q, so if there is school, then the negation of P, then it is not Saturday. Then it is not Saturday. So if there is school, then it is not Saturday. The truth value of that would be, yeah, that's true. Absolutely. Because, at least over here, in America, we don't have school on Saturday. So, those are some basic examples of the inverse, converse, and contrapositive of conditional statements. And in the next video, we'll go over sort of like an extension of this idea. So stay tuned for that.